Keshavadhrita Meena Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Shitireha Vipulatare Tishtati Tava Prishthe Dharani Dharana Kina Chakra Garishthe Keshavadhrita Kurma Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vasati Dashana Shikhare Dharani Kavalagna Shashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna Keshavadhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Hiranyakashipu Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Chalayasi Vikramane Bale Madhuta Vamana Padanakanira Janita Janapavana Keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare tapakata papam snapayasi payasi shamita bhavatapam Keshavadhrita Bhrigopati Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vitarasi Dikhurane Dipatim Kamaniyam Dashamukhamoli Balim Ramaniyam Keshavadhrita Rama Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Pushi Vishade Vasanam Jaladabham Allahati Bhiti Milita Yamunabham Keshavadhrita Alladhara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Yagya vidheraha Shuti jatam Sadaya hridaya darshita Dapashukatam Keshavadhrita Buddha Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Lechane Vahanidhane Kalayasi Karavala Dhumakitamiva Kimapi Karala Keshavadhrita Kalki Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Shunu Sukhadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram Keshavadhrita Dashavidharupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Vitarasi Dikshurane Dikpatin Ramaniyam Dashamukhamoli Dharam Ramaniyam Keshavadhrita Rama Sharira Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Jaya Jagadisha Bhagavan ki jai Shri Rama Navami Mahotsav ki jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam Chapter 1, Chapter 3, Text 20. What is it? It should be 22, is it? Yeah, 22. Translation and commentary by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Nara Devatvam Apanaha Sura Karya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigraha Adini Chakre Viryani Ataha Param Naradevatvam Apanna Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryanyatah Param Naradevatvamapanna Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryanyatah Param Surakarya Chikirshaya Chakre Viryanyatah Param Naradevatvamapanna Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryanyatah Param
Naradevatvamapanna
Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryanyatah Param Naradevatvamapanna Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Devis Naradevatvamapanna Suryakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakre Viryanyatah Param Nara, human being. Devatvam, divinity. Apanaha, having assumed the form of. Sura, the demigods. Karya, activities. Chikirshaya, for the purpose of performing. Samudra, the Indian Ocean. Nigraha, Adini, controlling, etc. Chakre, did perform. Viryani, superhuman prowess. Ataha, param, thereafter. Translation. In the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama. In order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods, he exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist King Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. Purport. The personality of Godhead Sri Rama assumed the form of a human being and appeared on the earth for the purpose of doing some pleasing work for the demigods or the administrative personalities to maintain the order of the universe. Sometimes great demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and many others become very famous due to advancing material civilization by the help of material science and other activities with the spirit of challenging the established order of the Lord. For example, the attempt to fly to other planets by material means is a challenge to the established order. The conditions of each and every planet are different, and different classes of human beings are accommodated there for particular purposes mentioned in the codes of the Lord. But puffed up by tiny success in material advancement, sometimes the godless materialists challenge the existence of God. Ravana was one of them, and he wanted to deport ordinary man to the planet of Indra, heaven, by material means, without consideration of the necessary qualifications. He wanted a staircase to be built up directly reaching the heavenly planet so that people might not be required to undergo the routine of pious work necessary to enter that planet. He also wanted to perform other acts against the established rule of the Lord. He even challenged the authority of Sri Rama, the personality of Godhead, and kidnapped his wife Sita. Of course, Lord Rama came to chastise this atheist, answering the prayer and desire of the demigods. He therefore took up the challenge of Ravana, and the complete activity is the subject matter of the Ramayana. Because Lord Ramachandra was the personality of Godhead, he exhibited superhuman activities which no human being, including the materially advanced Ravana, could perform. Lord Ramachandra prepared a royal road on the Indian Ocean with stones that floated on the water. The modern scientists have done research in the area of weightlessness, but it is not possible to bring in weightlessness anywhere and everywhere. But because weightlessness is the creation of the Lord, by which he can make the gigantic planets fly and float in the air, he made the stones even within this earth to be weightless, and prepared a stone bridge on the sea without any supporting pillar. That is the display of the power of God. Om Jnanati Mirantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurin Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namashreshtham Manamapi Shakti Putram Atrasrupam Rupam Tasyagajam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavartim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhava Shamprapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyataf Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan Tina Smarne Hoy Bigna Vinashan Anayashe Hoy Nijavanchita Puran Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Again on Ramanavami, we have the transcendental pleasure of recalling the names, the fame, the form, the pastimes of Lord Sri Rama, the personality of Godhead. Actually, we should do so all the time, at every moment. In our Gauriya Sampradaya, we are particularly aiming at Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, but we don't forget Rama. And Krishna Lila in Vrindavan is incomplete without knowledge of Ramayana. For instance, the gopis are always chastising Krishna and making fun of him and saying, "You're such a..." You're always telling us that you're Vishnu, but Rama, he did something useful with the monkeys. All you can do is steal butter and throw it to them. And what can you do? So Krishna showed. He built a bridge over the Pavana Sarovar, not over the ocean, but a floating bridge. And then the gopis, they're also chastising her. You see in your previous life, Vamana, you cheated Bali Maharaj, and then as Rama, you were so cruel. As the Shurpanaka, you cut her nose, had her nose cut. So they know. Without Ram Leela, there's no full fun to Krishna Leela. But it's a lot more. Ram Leela, what is it? It's immense. There's a story, you can read it from the beginning to the end, but you never finish it, because it's Ramayana. It goes round and round and round. It never ends. It never ends. And the great devotees of Rama, they read again and again and again. They never end. They know what the story is. I don't know if any of you had the misfortune to read Harry Potter stories. I didn't. Fortunately, I joined this movement before all that nonsense began. But I can imagine you read it once and then you already know the story, and it's no fun after that. In our generation, it was Lord of the Rings, right? That was the big thing. Tolkien's. I read it the first time, and I thought I'd read it again because it was so good. Not the same the second time. Maybe some people get juice out of it the second time, but it's punas charvita charvananam. It's useless juice in the first place. And then it becomes more useless the more you try to squeeze it out. But with Ram Leela, it becomes Krishna Leela, Vaman Leela. It becomes Shrinu Sukadam Shubhadam Bhavasaram. It's hearing again and again and again. It increases the happiness of the whole world, the auspiciousness within the whole world. And now it's being translated with commentary by Vidvan Gauranga Prabhu extensively, Valmiki Ramayana, so you can all read that, along with all the other things you have to read. When we've filled people's homes up with Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada Lilamrita, Yada Swami, there are so many other books we can fill it up with. You got Ramayana? Yeah, I got Rama. They have that first edition I ever read before I joined ISKCON was this Rajaji, what's his name? In Chennai? Rajagopalacharya, his Mayavadic edition. So I read that, that was the first one. So yeah, I know, a little, and then we give them a pile when it's finished of this Vidvan Gauranga's edition. Here, this is Ramayana, you can take. That's another set. The set distribution will never end. One reason Vidvan Gauranga, one main reason he's doing is because he sees the need for Varnashram Dharma, which is Dharma. And he sees that while our whole ISKCON movement is very busy transcending Dharma, they never really understood what Dharma is in the first place. And if you try to transcend Dharma without knowing what Dharma is in the first place, you trip up and you fall into Adharma. That's what happens with the Sahajiyas. So Ramayana, Maryada Purushottam, Bhagavan Ramachandra comes to establish what is Maryada, which literally means a line or a limit. What are the loosely translated as etiquette? Dharma. What is Dharma? He comes to establish what is Dharma. And then Krishna is Leela Purushottam, who comes to establish that he's God and he doesn't have to follow any Dharma. But that's very difficult for people to understand. Actually, it's not unless they get their minds messed up. People in India in general, they hear about Krishna dancing with the gopis and this and that. They're not deep theologians, but they know it's okay because it's Krishna. They know it's not okay for anyone else. So Dharma is so much discussed in Ramayana, and we can get a very good idea of what Dharma is. It's one of those non-translatable words from Sanskrit to English. And even if you try to define it in Sanskrit, it's very difficult to fully define it because it has so many aspects. And it seems to be elusive. We have definitions. We have the one that Srila Prabhupada quoted often from Bhagavatam, Dharmang tu, what is that? Sakshat Pranitam. Bhagavat Pranitam. Dharmang tu Bhagavat Pranitam, that which is given by Krishna. But then you still say, well, okay, he gave it, but what is it exactly? And it's hard to, what is love exactly? You can't exactly define. What is hate exactly? Actually, anything, if you want to define exactly, even things that we think are very easy to define. What is a line? It's the nearest, what is it? It's the shortest route between 2 points. But then, what is a point? That's what philosophy. No, you can't define a point because as soon as you define it, as soon as you put Maryada, then it's not a point. As soon as you put, it's a point, there are points within it. So you can't define, it's there, but you can't define it. And the same way you can't define a line, because where is the beginning and the end? But the point doesn't have a beginning and end. And this is the kind of things that people waste their lives discussing. But some people, at least they're thinking about something. But Dharma is so essential for human society that the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes himself and enacts his pastimes to show that, as is stated in Ramayana, Durlabham hi sada sukham. It's very rare to be always happy. Ram said this to Kaikeyi when he saw his father deeply lamenting that my son is going away for 14 years. And that was one of the arguments why Ram should come back and not go. But Ram said, anyway, there's suffering in this world. You can. And the Ramayana shows how Rama, by his example, was willing to accept so much difficulty to uphold Dharma. It's better to act for the sake of Dharma than to act for the sake of personal happiness. And what is Dharma? That's a good question. The basic meaning we have in the Ramayana itself, Dharana dharmam ityahu dharmena vidruta prajaha. Vidrita prajaha. Dharma is called dharma because it sustains or supports society. And it holds everyone together. That which holds, that which supports. That which is... Srila Prabhupada often gave the example or the meaning that Dharma is the basic characteristic of something. Sugar is sweet. If it's not sweet, it's not sugar, or you have a misunderstanding of it if you have jaundice. Chili is hot. If it's not hot, it's not chili. So the dharma of the living being is to serve. So in the jaundice condition, we think that service is service to one's misconstrued sense of self, and then service to the what is that? Atho griha kshetra sutta. Service to the wife, family, friends, and all these things. So dharma is that which sustains or supports society. Then what exactly is dharma? What is how to understand? In Mahabharata, and more so in in Ramayana, and more so in Mahabharata, we get again and again and again and again this dharma sankat, where two principles of dharma come in conflict with each other. And then how is it resolved? The Bhagavad Gita is a prime example, that Arjuna was in a situation where it was his dharma to fight, but it was against dharma to fight in the same situation. How do you resolve that? So again and again we get in Mahabharata and in Ramayana also to establish how one should live and behave in this world. And on the basis of that, Vedic society, since time immemorial, has gone on largely on the legal basis, the moral basis, has gone on largely on the basis of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And even somehow or other, someone sent me something, and there was some court case was being discussed in the High Court in Madras over 100 years ago, with the lawyers, Brahmins of course, arguing in English and quoting from Mahabharata and Manusmriti and all these things. So, up to the present day, Srila Prabhupada writes that in the Hindu jurisprudence, not Indian, Hindu jurisprudence is based on the Shastra, and I'm trying to find the next quote. So I have to keep on talking till I find it. And if I don't find it, I'll just go on anyway without it. But it's better if I find it, so I'll keep on filibustering till I find it. I didn't do my dharma very well. I didn't prepare this right. Here we have. Okay. Okay, what is dharma? If we can't define it very well, maybe we can understand it from its effects. Just like love, we can't define it exactly, but it makes you crazy, makes you feel good, but it makes you feel crazy, and whatever else may be. So also from Ramayana, I'm quoting here from quotes from Ramayana to give an idea how much we can learn from Ramayana. Dharmad artha prabhavati, dharmat prabhavate sukham, dharmena labhate sarvam, dharma sara idam jagat. From dharma comes artha, here understood in the sense of wealth, but more importantly understood in the sense of meaning and purpose. From dharma comes sukham, happiness. From dharma comes everything. Dharma is the essence of this world. Atmanam niyamai taishthai karshayadva prayatnataha prapyate nipunair dharmo nasukhat labhate sukham. Dharma, this is Sita speaking to Rama. Dharma is the source of happiness. It can be attained by an expert person only after observing various disciplines for self-purification and after great effort subjecting himself to much trouble. One cannot attain dharma by leading a life given to the pursuit of happiness. So from dharma comes happiness, but if one tries to get happiness without dharma, you can't get dharma and then you can't get happiness. It's logical. This was when Sita, she was getting on Rama's case a little bit. We don't hear so much about that, but she also discharged one of the duties of a wife is to, if she thinks he's going a little off course, to gently try and convince him to get back on course. So seeing him wandering around with his bow and arrows, she tried to dissuade him from that. See if that you came to the forest where the rishis come, they live a life of ahimsa. But if you have bows and arrows, then naturally you're going to have the feeling to want to use it. She gave the example of Indra wanted to cause the fall down of a rishi. So Indra gave him some weapons. Could you look after these? And then the rishis, it's just by association, started thinking of using them, and the rishi became violent and he lost his rishitva, or whatever the word might be, his status as a rishi. And Ram corrected Sita. That actually, I am in the forest and I'm dressed in forest clothes, but I'm a kshatriya. And the kshatriya has to have the weapons for protecting the rishis, which is one reason he was eager to go to the forest, having heard of the rishis in the forest being attacked and harassed by rakshasas. We find also Draupadi, anyway, I'm going off on too many tangents here, otherwise we'll be here all day, and there are other things to do today also. Nasa sabha yatra nasanti vriddha vriddha nate Yae na vadanti dharmam, na so dharmo yatra na satyamasti, na tat satyam yacchalenanu. A sabha, meaning an assembly of wise men who discuss dharma, is not a sabha unless there are wise old men to join the sabha. They are not wise old men who do not know dharma. We could send this to certain people. There is no dharma where there is not truth, and there is no truth which is covered over with deceit. Just remember that as we go on to the next quote, which is Ahu satyami paramam dharmam dharmavido janaha. Those who know what is dharma say that truth is the highest dharma. Who said this? This is in Ramayana. Kaikeyi said it to Rama. You said, you gave your word, you have to follow it. But this is truth covered by deceit. She's citing dharma for her adharmic purposes. Rama accepted that it was dharmic to go to the forest, but her motive was not dharmic, just the opposite. So it's the devil quoting scripture. She was citing dharma, and what she said is true, and it's quite quotable, but she did it for the wrong purpose. And that's another big discussion, how Rama treated Kaikeyi. He never felt anything bad toward her. That's amazing. That's another whole big topic. And yeah, we need, how many lifetimes do we need? Endless to discuss all these things. So truth and dharma, the interaction of truth and dharma, which is very much, we find in Ramayana, how Rama is, anyway, we'll get to that. Satyam eveshvaro loke satye dharma samashritaha. This world is controlled by truth and dharma is rooted in truth. This is Rama speaking to Jabali, because everyone is Rama is saying, I have to uphold my dharma. I gave my word to my father, I have to uphold it. And even his father is telling him, no, forget it, it doesn't matter. Everyone is telling Rama, or they're trying to convince him that when he met the rishis are trying to convince him that actually it's quite acceptable according to dharma to go back to Ayodhya. It didn't work. Ram defeated them in discussion, and Jabali Rishi comes out and says, what is all this dharma, anyway, all this nonsense dharma, and what's the use of dharma? You only get trouble by dharma, and all these people following dharma, they never have any good in life. And then Rama understood that he's getting really desperate, because he's actually a rishi, but he's saying this, he is thinking that it is so much dharma, to get me to go back, that he's willing to speak adharma to get me to go back. But Rama said that truth controls this world and dharma is rooted in truth. So I gave my word, that's it, finished. So he defeated him also. Even when others tried to defeat him in establishing what is dharma, they were unsuccessful. So, okay, throw out dharma, and then there would have been no need for Buddha to come, right? But Buddha had to come also. So, Rama upholding again and again, very valuably. Rama himself, to Kaikeyi, Ramo divir nabhibhashate. Kaikeyi. Rama is speaking to, when Rama said to Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi, because Dasharath couldn't call Rama. Now Kaikeyi says to Dasharath, now you have to call Rama and tell him that he's banished from the kingdom. And Dasharath couldn't do it. So Kaikeyi, she had Rama call, and she said, first of all, Dasharath's going to give you an order, so you have to follow it, right? You're going to do what he says. Rama's surprised. What kind of a question is that? Of course I'm going to follow what my father says. And Rama says in surprise, Tadbruhi vachanam devi rajno yadabhi kankikshatam karishe pratijjane cha ramo dvya nabhibhasate. Tell me what the king wants. I promise I will do whatever he says. What Rama says he'll do, he does. So that was the context, you see. And then Kaikeyi says that truth without deceitfulness. You can speak the truth and be deceitful at the same time. There's an example. Kaikeyi, she's saying what is the truth about dharma, but in a self-motivated manner. That's the point. Then again, when Bharat turns up and Kaikeyi says, hey, you know what? We got some good news. Ram's going to the forest and you're going to be the king. Bharat couldn't imagine. So he also, when everyone who's tried to bring Rama back, then Bharat comes, he goes out, okay, I'm going to bring Rama back. He'll listen to me. He loves me. He failed also. And Rama again says the same thing, again and again in different ways. Lakshmi Chandrat Apayadva Himavan Va Himam Tyajit Atiyat Sagaro Velam Napratigyamaham Pituhu. Beauty may leave the moon. Snow may leave the Himalayas. Well, it's happening now with climate change and all that kind of thing. Himavan va himam tyajit. Snow may leave the Himalayas. The ocean may go beyond its shore. But I will never violate the promise given to my father, says Rama. So much he's emphasizing on truthfulness. So, where are we now? Again. Nahi pratigyam kurvanti vitatam satyavadinaha lakshanam hi mahatvasya pratigya paripalanam. Those who always adhere to truth do not make false promises. Keeping one's promises is surely the mark of one's greatness. So Ram is again and again teaching others about truth. But this is not spoken by Ram. This is spoken to Ram by Lakshman. When he has to remind Rama that you have to fulfill your word. Because just prior to this, Lakshman was struck by Indrajit's spear, or whatever it was. And Lakshman, it looked like he was going to be dead. And then Rama is just, what is Rama is lamenting? Deshe deshe kalatrani, deshe deshe chabandavaha. Tam tu desham pashami yatra bhrata sadhodaraha. One may have wives and relatives in every country. Sometimes this comes up every so often in Tamilnadu. Someone has one wife in Chennai and another in Chidambarams, something like that. So it's not against dharma. You can have wives in different countries, and you can have brothers and friends, but you can't have a brother like Lakshman in every place. Yes. When we think of Ramayana, we think of, you cannot but help of Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, and it's very hard to say who's, well, it's Ramayana, so you could say Rama is the most important, but Rama thought that his word to his father was more important than himself. Some, especially Sri Vaishnavas, they call it Sitayana, because it's all based around Sita. She's what makes the story work. Otherwise, there's little adventure. Rama kills Tartaka and shoots Maricha off to the other side of India. A little action, little romance, and then with Parashuram also. But they could have lived happily ever after in the forest, in Ayodhya. But the demigods didn't want them to live happily. And they polluted Kaikeyi's mind because we didn't want Rama to come to live happily in Ayodhya. He's already living happily in Ayodhya in the spiritual world. Let him live there happily, but we brought him here to kill Ravana. So we got to get him out of Ayodhya. So Sita, how pure she is, how the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself is so much devoted to her, the absolute standard of pativratata, the dedication to the husband, and Lakshman also. Hanuman, there's a whole cult of Hanuman worship almost separate from that of Rama. Who's the better servant of Rama, Hanuman or Lakshman? Who can say? How can you say? They had different services, but both completely dedicated. And there are so many others also. But Lakshman and Hanuman, outstanding. Even though Hanuman didn't come until later in life. Already a lot of action. Lakshman was there from the beginning of life. So how great is Lakshman? How great we should study Ramayana every day.
How great is Sita? Mandodari knew. She could understand. Pativratanam nakasmat patantyashruni bhutale. After Ravana was killed, Mandodari said this, that the tears of a woman who is devoted to her husband, they do not fall on the ground in vain. Those who mistreat such a woman, they have to suffer. So, going on. Lakshman, glories of Lakshman. Lakshman is loved for not controlling his anger. There's a verse which comes in Mahabharata, very similar verse in Ramayana, spoken by Lakshman to Rama. Guru rapya valiptasya karya majanataha utpattam pratipannasya karyam bhavati shashanam. In Mahabharata we have Bhishma speaking this to his guru, Parashuram, that if a guru doesn't instruct properly, doesn't know what is right or what is wrong, he strays from the path, he should be fully given up. But Lakshman said he should be punished. He's referring to Dasharath. Look at that senile old man, I'll go and cut his head off right now. He says to Rama's all the time. And Rama then speaks wise word to Lakshman, and destiny, fate, you see, and we have to follow that. And then Lakshman says, Viklavo virya hino yasa daivam anuvartate vira sambhavitatmano na daivam paryupasate. What is this nonsense fate? I'm a kshatriya. I've got a sword in my hand. Where's that fate? I'll cut his head off too. Only timid, useless, weak people submit to fate. We are kshatriyas. We'll fight. We'll destroy this fate, this nonsense fate. There are so many things. So what do you do? You accept your fate or you don't accept? That throws a whole other spanner in the works, right? We're supposed to accept your fate or you don't accept your fate, and what do you do? How do you know how to act in any situation? That's why we need brahmanas who can advise and what to do in various situations. The general advice for Vaishnavas is tatenu kampansu samikshamano. But as a kshatriya who has to rule the earth, then their dharma, their seva, their service to Krishna, may be to, well, it is to fight to uphold even worldly dharma, which is required for directing people on the path of devotional service. So, Ramayana is sometimes condescendingly referred to as one of those wisdom literatures. So there's Ramayana, Mahabharata, and you have the I King and the Iliad and the Odyssey, and Oh, they're all ancient wisdom literatures, but it's a lot more than that. But there are many things we can learn from Mahabharata, which is applicable in our lives. Unfortunately, some nonsense people, they take that and they want to apply the lessons from Ramayana to improve your career and all this kind of thing. This whole idea of a career has got nothing. It's a symptom of the breakdown of dharma, that there's the idea to have a career, because there's no such thing as a career in Varnashram dharma. You do your duty, that's all. What you're supposed to do. Not that you're trying to... Career means you push others down and push yourselves up. Okay, so some wisdom sayings from Ramayana, having put that in context. When Dasarath was unable to convince Rama to stay in Ayodhya, he said, okay, I got the solution. You're going to go to the forest, we'll move Ayodhya to the forest. We'll all go with you, we'll take all the elephants, all the shops, everything, and we'll make a... And Rama in reply, Yo hidatva dvipashreshtham kashyayam kurute manaha rajasnehena kim tasya tyajata kunjarotamam. Someone's giving away a kunjarotamam, a very good elephant, but he's very attached to the rope, and the chain. I'm giving away the rope, the elephant, but I'm not going to give away the chain for the elephant. So Rama says this is ridiculous. In a roundabout way, he's saying to Dasarath that your proposition is ridiculous. Now, when you're abandoning the kingdom, what's the use of all the paraphernalia? It's like giving away an elephant and being attached to the chain on the elephant. When Kaushalya was trying to tell Sita, you see, Rama was banished to the forest. You weren't banished to the forest. You are not fit for forest life at all. You've always lived in such luxury, and even the just Mataji was saying yesterday that she only walked on flower petals, never on the earth. But Kaushalya, Sita was also stubborn. Rama was stubborn to follow his father's order, and Sita was stubborn to follow her husband. She said, Na tantri vidyate vina na chakro vidyate rataha na pati sukha medheta yasyadapi shatatmaja. What is a vina without strings? It's meaningless. A chariot, to bring a very good chariot, there's only one thing wrong with it, it doesn't have any wheels, so it's useless. You can make nice air-conditioned chariot and all this. They have in America these tractors with air conditioning, and you hear in the fields in India also, they're driving the tractor listening to Bollywood or Tollywood, what is it here, Collywood music as they're driving along. But you can make it very nice, but without wheels it's useless. So, even a woman, Sita says, she can never be happy without her husband, even if she has 100 sons. Then, words of Kaushalya. Shoko nashyate dharyam, shoko nashyate shutam, shoko nashyate sarvam, nasti shoka samo ripuhu. What is the greatest enemy? We learn from Bhagavad Gita, anger is the greatest enemy. But here, Kaushalya says that grief is the greatest enemy, because due to grief she gave way to anger. She started chastising Dasarath, which she'd never done in her life. But grief destroys one's patience and tolerance. It destroys one's learning. It destroys everything. There is no enemy greater than grief. She said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but I was overcome by grief, so please forgive me. Kulinam akulinam va viram purusham maninam charitrameva vyakhyati shuchim va yadi va shuchim. Whether one is born in a good family or a low family, whether one is, you can boast about yourself as being a great heroic person, but it can be understood whether one is shuchi, pure, or asuchi, impure, by one's character, by one's behavior. Udvijante yata sarpat naradanrita vadinaha. Again, the truth. Just as people are afraid of snakes, in the same way people are afraid of people who tell lies. We're very afraid of such people. Naturally, we feel afraid when we have a snake. 3 days ago, just before Mangalati, a crate in the shower area. So we were a little late for Mangalati. So, most dangerous snake. Sarvagya killed it. Na supratikarang tattu matra pitra cha yat kritam. It is difficult for children, or children cannot repay the debt of what the mother and father have done to bring them up. Did you hear that, all you young children here? You can't understand it. You'll understand it when you have. How do the children repay the debt for what their mother and father have done for them? By having their own children. It's passed on. And of course they have to look after their elderly parents. But they have to look after their children as their parents looked after them. And when the parampara gets broken, then you get the world today. That's the cause, right? Strishu dushtarshu varshaya jayate varna sankaraha. There's so many things we could discuss. So many things. Anagata vidhanam tu kartavyam shubham ichchata apad ashankamanena purushena vipaschita. Rama is telling Lakshman to be alert. When you see signs of things going wrong, you should take note of that and act accordingly. Rama says, if you see there's some danger, you have to act in advance to, what's the word? There's several. To prevent it, yeah. To prevent it. And that way you can live safely in this world. Rama was seeing omens. People don't believe in omens anymore, but they're bad omens. So he saw that, and Rama was expecting trouble from. And what actually happened? Kara came. So then Rama told you go and you take Sita, you look after her, take her a little distance. And Lakshmana said, you take her. I said, no, you take her. I'll kill them all. It's the fun. Who gets the fun? Rama gets the fun because he has that right to kill all the Rakshasas. He has the first duty to do so. But it's also fun for the Kshatriyas to fight. Sukhina Kshatriya Partha Lavanti Yudham Idrisham. They like to fight. Karma Loka Viruddham Tu Kurvanam Kshanada Chava. Now, getting back to snakes. This is what Rama says to Kara. Tikshnam sarva jano hanti sarpam dushtam ivagatam. You're just like a snake. And just like snakes should be a cruel and ferocious person whose motive is to hurt people and harm them, just like a snake should be killed. So such people should be killed. Nachiram papa karamana krurara loka jugupsitaha aishvaryam prapya tishtanti shirnam mula ivadruma. Cruel persons who inflict physical and mental injury on others are hated. Everyone hates them. Such persons can amass great wealth, but they can't retain it for long. They will perish like a tree whose roots have become decayed. Just yesterday I saw on that World Sankirtan newsletter, one story came of Ananda Gauranga, your godbrother in National Capital Region. He was selling books at the train, the metro station. And so he, on the platform, he approached, because he takes books. When he goes to work, he takes books. He's always selling books. So he saw one woman, you want to give her a book? He said, no, I don't believe in all that. It's all about karma, and I don't believe in karma. And he said, why not? He said, well, because I'm having such a bad time, and the people who are causing harm to me, they're living well, and I'm not living well, and they're causing harm. So how can I believe in karma? So he gave, anyway, he said, well, at least give a donation. He gave a donation, then he had to talk her into taking a book. So you can understand what is karma. But this Ramayana would be, this very statement is very good for that. And the Bhagavad Gita we have for that, and so many things. Actually, we do need it's a very important book for mass distribution about reincarnation and karma, because that's a common doubt. How is it that, why do bad things happen to good people, and why do bad people flourish? That seems to be evidence that there's no God and there's no such thing as karma. It has to be understood. Rama went on to say to Kara, oh yeah, I said that. No, I didn't say it. Nachirat prapyate loka papanam karmana palam savishanam mivananam bhuktanam kshanadachara. In this world, those who perform sinful activities will before long suffer the consequences in the same way as poisonous food will kill a person in a short time. The thing is, we only see it in one life, but it goes on to the next life. So, sinfulness, talking about sinfulness. Paradara bimar shatu nanyat papataram mahat. There's no greater sin than coveting another man's wife. Who said this? Maricha the Rakshasa, trying to tell Ravana that that was Ravana's mistake. He thought, I'm so powerful, sinful reaction cannot touch me. I can do whatever I like. Ramayana, if it's explained, there's so much understanding comes out of it. Maricha said this. He's a sinful birth, sinful person, but actually he was always thinking of Rama. Intensely thinking of Rama. Whenever he hears the sound Ra, he immediately becomes afraid. Rama's coming. Rama didn't kill him. First time. There was a purpose in that also. Sabhara somya bharatavyo yonaram navasadayat tad annam api bhoktavyam jiryate yadam amayam. Don't lift more than you can lift properly, comfortably, and don't eat more food than you can digest. Otherwise, you're going to suffer. If you try to lift something that's too heavy for you, you're going to cause bodily harm. If you eat too much, you're going to get sick. This is Jatayu to Ravana. You think that's just another woman. Don't lift a weight heavier than you can lift. Don't try to eat something which you can't digest. Jatayu is trying to give good advice to Ravana. You think you can just lift her up? It's a weight heavier than you can carry. You think you can just take her and digest? This is poison for you. Yat kritvana bhavet dharmo na kirtir na yasho dhruvam sharirasya bhavet kheda kastat karma samacharet. Who will perform an action that won't bring you dharma or reputation nor good fame and will only result in sharirasya kheda? Kheda means lamentation, exhaustion. It'll wear you out. Who will do that? Ravana will do it. Jatayu is saying to Ravana, but Ravana thought the laws of nature do not apply to me. He was wrong. See, Mumurshunam tu sarvesham yat patyam tanarochate. Again, the example. The people advise you, this is Sita to Ravana. So many people told him. They tried to give him good counsel. Vibhishana tried. Everyone. Rama himself tried. Maricha tried. Kumbhakarna tried. Everyone was trying to better. But Sita told him this. Mumurshunam sarvesham yat patyam tannarochate. It's just like you're advised not to eat food which will give you illness, but a fool, someone who's determined to die will take the food that will kill him. Ghee is very good food, but if you have jaundice and you eat lots of ghee, you're finished. So ghee, the best ghee can be the worst poison. And so similarly, Sita, we all want Sita, we all want to, but if we approach her in the right way, she's the best for everyone. But the way Ravana wanted to take her is death for him. But Sita is saying, you won't take away. People who are inviting their own death won't take good counsel. They won't take good advice. Then another Lakshman statement, the kind of statement he would regularly make to Rama. Utsaho balavanarya nastyutsahat parambalam sotsahascha hilokeshu nakinchid api durlabam. Enthusiasm is strength. Arya, he addresses him. Arya. He addresses Rama. Rama, time to time, Rama would go through the pastime of being discouraged. Rama just felt, without Sita, finished everything. And there was no sign how. She's gone and there's no way we can find, in the whole big world, how are we going to find out? But Lakshman says, enthusiasm is strength. There is no greater strength than enthusiasm. There is nothing non-attainable in this world for one who has got enthusiasm. Dukkita sukhito vapi sakyo nityam sakagatihi. Whether in sorrow or happiness, a friend is always another friend's support. So that's applicable to Lakshman. But Sugriva said this to Rama. That Rama told his story to Sugriva and said, okay, I'll be your friend. And with friends, you can rely on a friend. Which Rama did by killing Vali. After which Vali protested, but Rama justified himself by saying, Jeshto brata pita vapi yascha vidyam prayachati trayo vai pitaro gyeya dharme cha pati vartinaha. One's elder brother, father, and the teacher who gives knowledge, they're all these three should be known by those who are on the path of knowledge. They should know these three to be just like one's father. So he's justifying killing Vali because you misbehaved towards Sugriva. You didn't fulfill your dharma. That was one of the reasons Rama gave. Artahinam upapannam purvam chapyupakarinam asham samshrutya yohanti saloke purushadamaha. This is Ram to Lakshman when he sends Lakshman to Sugriva. Sugriva has given his word to help Rama, but there's no sign of him. So Rama is thinking Sugriva is failing in his promise. And he tells Rama tells Lakshman to tell Sugriva. A person who gives hope to another, who requests for money or aid or something, or has helped someone in the past, if you give them hope, yes, I'll help you. But then if you disappoint them by not keeping his promise, that person is Purushadhama. Saloke Purushadhama, the worst person in the world. Gogne chaiva surape cha chaure bhagnavrate tata nishkriti nihita sadbi kritagne nasti nishkritihi. Ungratefulness. Rama tells Lakshman to tell Sugriva that there is atonement even for someone who kills a cow, someone who drinks alcohol, someone who steals or breaks one promise, but there is no atonement for someone who is ungrateful. We know from Mahabharata that even the jackals would not eat the dead body of someone who is ungrateful. So Lakshman, he's angry. You better not get on the wrong side of Lakshman. He marches in and Sugriva is having a party as usual, and Lakshman marches in And Tara tells Vali, hey, you better get your act. He's all drunk and better get your act together. Lakshman's coming and he's in a bad mood. So Vali, Sugriva pulls himself together. And Lakshman just restrains himself from killing Sugriva, but he gets on his case. Come on, you said you'd come and help us. You have to help us. And Sugriva says, Na kaschin aparadyati. There's no one in this world who never made a mistake. Sita also said this. The quality of forgiveness. When Hanuman wanted to kill all the Rakshasis, no, it's all right. Don't kill them. Anivedam cha daksham cha manashas cha parajayam karya siddhi karanayahu. Now this is Angada, who's the son of Sugriva, who therefore now they all gave up. We reached the end of the world. We went all through the area we were supposed to go through. We came to the ocean. There's nothing beyond this. And we didn't find Sita. So let's all just sit here and die. But Angada said, Angad, we have one Angad here, right? He said to Sugriva, this Anirvedam, not getting depressed. Dakshamcha, you shouldn't get depressed. You should continue to push on to achieve one's goals with expertise, not losing heart. Then you can fulfill your goal. So even though it seemed hopeless, Angada was telling his father, don't give up heart. Na vishade manah karyam vishado doshavatara vishado hanti purusham balam kruddha ivo raga. This Angada continues. Don't allow yourself to be overcome by despondency. It kills a person. You see, depression. People just become overcome by depression. It kills a person. It's just like a snake kills a child. You're finished. If you become depressed and overcome, you're finished. Anivedo shriyo mulam anirvedo param sukham. Not getting depressed, frustrated, dejected is the basis for all prosperity and happiness. Vinashe bhavo dosha jivanapnoti bhadrakam. This is Hanuman saying a similar thing. He'd searched all the palaces of Ravana, but he didn't find Sita. And he was thinking, I can't go back, I might as well just die here. But then he told himself, giving up one's own life doesn't do any good. To continue to live, there's hope of Bhadram, that there will be better times. When there's life, there's hope. Digastu paravashyatam, to be under the control of another is condemned. Drishyamane bhavet priti sohridam nasya drishyata. That's especially for kshatriyas, to be under the control of others. Then I just read, Sita is being threatened by the Rakshasis and telling her, why don't you accept Ravana? And she says, Drishamane bhavet priti so hridam nastya drishyata. That they're saying that Ram is a long way away. You can only love someone if they're with you. But she says that real love is there even if you don't see the person. Kalyani bhata gateyam lokiki pratibhati me eti jivantamanando naram varsha shatadapi. Sita says to Hanuman that there is a saying, if one continues to live, happiness and bliss may come even after a gap of 100 years. It means you may have to suffer so much, but if you go on living, good times may come. So she says, yeah, that's a good saying, because I was always thinking about killing myself, but now that you have come, Hanuman, now I know that good times are coming again. Anrishang Shamparo Dharma. This Sita sends a message to Ram through Hanuman to think of others, to be kind to them, to be merciful. That is the greatest dharma. Rama knows that, but she's saying, it's your dharma to protect me. So she's, come on. Then, Nasama Rakshasu Gunaya Kalpate Nadanam Arto Pachiteshu Yujyate. Hanuman is thinking, okay, I came, I saw Lanka. What should I do next? Should I try to have some diplomacy? No, it won't work with them. Sama Bheda Dana Danda. The Sama won't work, trying to reconcile with them. Just as you cannot reconcile, you cannot convince, you can't bribe a person who's got lots of money. You can't pacify him. So Hanuman thought that the only thing they know is force and power. So let's show a little bit of it. I'm just a monkey servant of Rama. Just want to show you what an insignificant servant of Rama can do. Still want to keep Sita? Okay. Ram's coming. Don't believe me? Okay. Ram will come. That's the implied message. But then, afterwards, after having burned Lanka, Kopam na gachanti hi satvanta. People are really strong in heart, they don't become angry. Vacha vacham prakupito na vijanati karhichit na karyam asti kudhasya na vacham vidyate krachit. When you're angry, you don't think what should be done and what should not be done, what should be said and what should not be said. There is Krodna kore kiba. Krodna kore kiba. What is that? Narottam says that. What will you not do when you're angry? He can do anything. There's nothing unspeakable. There's nothing wrong in his book. Because he's thinking, I set Lanka on fire. Maybe I killed Sita too. I didn't even think about that because of anger. But then again he thought, Nagniragno pravartate. Fire cannot act on fire. Fire cannot burn Sita. She herself is fire. She is the fire didn't destroy Lanka. She destroyed Lanka. Nirutsahasya dinasya shoka paryakulatmanaha sarvartha vyavasidanti vyasanam chadigachati. Similar statement. This is Sugriva to Rama. When Hanuman brought news of Sita and Ram becomes happy, at the same time Ram is thinking that, well, how are we going to bring a whole army over to Lanka? How are we going to get there? And even to fight with them is one thing. How are we going to get there? But Sugriva says that don't become overwhelmed by grief. If we become unenthusiastic and weak-spirited and sorrowful, you just become overwhelmed and you can't do any good for yourself or others. Then, mantramulam cha vijayam pravadanti manasvinaha. Wise men say that the root of victory is consultation and discussion with learned and wise men. Who said that? Not Ravana, because he always did whatever. He said it himself. After he's... again and again he was sending off people. A bunch of men, that's what we eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner, right? And monkeys, and I'll go and kill them. No, I'll go and kill them. I'll go, one after another. After some time, Ravana calls together his ministers and says, well, I think wise men consult their ministers. He didn't do it up to that point. And they all told him the same thing, again, that, look, just give Sita back. That's all. And then he became angry with them, and then they flattered him. Janami shilam gyatinam sarva lokeshu rakshasa rishanti vyasaneshvete gyatinam gyataya sada. This is Ravana to Vibhishana. I know about these relatives. They always rejoice when their relatives are in trouble. So if we find people rejoicing when their relatives are in trouble, you could say, you're one of Ravana's type. Yata pushkara patreshu patitas toya bindava naslesham abhigachanti tatan aryeshu sohridam. Like drops of water on the lotus leaf do not stay. A common example. In the same way is friendship with people who lack character. This is Ravana speaking to Vibhishana. Vibhishana had character, Ravana didn't. But in Ravana's understanding, because Vibhishana is leaving him, therefore he lacks character. You're a fair weather friend, as we say in English. Then Vibhishana goes to Rama and surrenders to him, and the monkeys are doubtful. Not Hanuman, because Hanuman had already seen Vibhishana get on the case of Ravana when Hanuman first went to Lanka. And so all the monkeys are telling him that he's a Rakshasa, you can't trust him. And then Ram says, what do you think, Hanuman? And Hanuman says that Akara chadyamano pi na shakyo viniguhitam baladhi vivrunotyeva bhavam antargatam runam. One's innermost thoughts and emotions reflect in one's physical appearance. Such changes, or body language, nowadays we call that body language. So people, you can read that, you can understand what people are thinking by their body language. So Hanuman says that Vibhishana, what he's saying is sincere. We can see. There are so many. I'll read a little bit more. Garjanti na vrita shura nirjala ivataya daha. Clouds which have already rained, if thunder comes from them, you can't expect much more rain. So the real heroes, they don't roar like that. They show their valor in action. And Kumbhakarna did that. He doesn't come off so bad, actually, in Ramayana. He tells Ravana, look, you're a fool, give Sita back. Then he says, okay, I'll go and fight. I'll do my job. I'm telling you, I'll kill Rama, but actually I won't. But anyway. You want to hear it? Okay, I'll tell you. First of all, he tells him that no one's going to defeat Rama. And then Ravana sends him out. And he was saying, okay, yes, I'll win. You want to hear that? Okay, I'll kill Rama. You want to hear that? I'll tell you that. And then Rama's killing him. And he says, could you do me a favor? Shoot my head. When you kill me, shoot my head into the sea. So that it's all mangled up and all this and that. So it doesn't get eaten by vultures and this. Just do me a little favor, could you? He tells him. Not so bad, Kumbhakarna. I have some sympathy. Well, for all it's worth, I guess one Rakshasa for another. Parasvanam chaharanam paradara bhimarshinam suhridam atishanka trayodosha shayavaha. Stealing others' wealth, lusting after another's wife, doubting the integrity and character of friends, these three lead to destruction. This is Vibhishana to Indrajit. Indrajit is rebuking Vibhishana. Indrajit meets Vibhishana on the battlefield, and Indrajit is rebuking Vibhishana. Why did you give up Ravana, your brother, my father? And Vibhishana says that, you see, that he's stole the wealth of others, he's coveted another man's wife, and he is blaming me who was giving good advice, so he's doomed. That's why he should be given up. Okay, here's a statement from Hanuman. I'll finish up here. Bhakti seva bhagavato muktis tat padalanghanam ko mudha dasatang prapyo prabhavang padamichati. Bhakti means devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the translation given. Mukti, accepting liberation, trying to go beyond the lotus feet of the Lord. Tatpada langhanam, accepting liberation without service to Him. What fool is there who, having the opportunity to serve the Lord, would accept liberation without devotional service? Jai Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan. Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jai Srila Prabhupada.